Actually, I went to Agile testing days like 12, 13 years ago. I don't remember exactly. And back then I was a developer and my boss made me go there. And I realized, okay, these folks actually have figured out how to not mess up that much. So I was used to weeks and weeks of bug fixing and trying to figure out what that tester actually meant. And then they told me, okay, yeah, testers should be part of the team and quality should be everybody's responsibility. And I said, yes, that's what we should do. So this is how I got into testing.
That's actually an interesting story. I was originally, at the beginning of my career, I did some research in 3D rendering, but then I gave up on that because I didn't quite enjoy it. And then I didn't know exactly what to do, and a friend of mine just told me, we're at this company, we need someone with that comes in to do quality and testing, and maybe you're the person for that. And so I walked in and I did that for 5 years, and then I promised myself I would never do that ever again. And the years went by and I did a whole bunch of other different things, like being a developer, customer support, cloud operations, marketing. And then eventually I was invited or asked to come back to the quality field. And in that year, I decided to come to Agile testing days because I had heard good things about it. And that was, let's say, a key point in my career. It changed my whole view of quality and testing, and then I fell in love with the community, and the rest is the rest.
I got into testing by accident because I was hired to be a translator, and it turned out there was nothing to translate. So I had to write the documentation, which meant talking to developers. And it turns out if you're writing documentation, then you're testing, because you're like, how does this work? And it doesn't, or it didn't work like it did yesterday. So it was an accident, but a happy accident.
I actually studied something that had nothing to do with programming, but during my studies I realized I should have done something with programming. So I decided to start as a developer. At some point I got in contact with my employee now. They told me, hey, if you want to do more than just writing code the entire day, if you want to be more involved in processes, if you want to think about how can you improve stuff for the entire team, if you want to be involved with the business, if you want to combine all that with coding, maybe you should become a tester.
I actually got into testing in school, like doing college, doing work. I did work for James Whitaker and Kem Kaner, and that's how I kind of sprung into the field of software testing.
I had been working as a developer for 10 years, and I was extremely bored, and testing sounded like a new challenge, let's put it that way. How about you?
Yeah, I spoke at the Agile testing days and really loved the community, and then at some point thought, hey, maybe that's a cool thing to do, and asked Vera, and then started 2 months ago at Quality Minds. So that's how I got into testing.
I got into testing via development. I was a developer first, and then at some point they said, you've done something with model checking, so you know what test automation is. And I was like, no, but... And then they said, yeah, you can lead our test automation team. And I said, yeah, I know everything about test automation. So that's actually how I got into test automation, and from there I went into testing, and I never left.